My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. License ZP36346. This is a large truck, a commercial vehicle. License 7ZLC314. License 980V84. That's Nevada. License 8JUA585. 9GZV374. 21984. That's an Illinois plate. (7PSR080) 74071DA 8ZF W627 9MVP955 8PLA613 4RQZ108 BZ791, that's a handicap plate. 7VQW371 8XXE398
9RGY935, 8J0S004, 9TSL441, 04539KS.
Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes, and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. All right, guess who's stalking in helicopter? All right, with the people of the state under the fake sun that's not over the Ontario Town Square. Like the Ontario Police, they're flying right next to the fake sun that's over Plum and Holt Boulevard. All right, that's P.O.C. That's the evidence of a stalker, a whole police department that is indeed stalking me. And this is the same police department that at what is 8:11 a.m. Remember yesterday during the 8 a.m. hour, the fake sun was over the Ontario Town Square, which is down yonder, which is not going to be over the 280 North Lemon Apartments, where the Ontario Police Department were flying in circles, 9:53, 9:57, 10:13, 10:17, into the entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library. And it also lets you know who else is stalking. License 8BTN3, stalking in the path with light with the government by making a purchase at a third-party facilitating venue where the documentation shows this time of year the fake sun is over me at this Andy's Burgers in the middle of the afternoon. And then I walk back to the library. I capture video of the fake sun remaining over me, where the Ontario police provide evidence against the gang stalking immigrants that are going to be deported, against the gang stalking businesses that are going to be federally prosecuted under RICO, against the people of the state that are going to federal prison for kidnapping with the Ontario Police Department, against sex offenders who are going to be subject to federal prosecution for domestic terrorism and psychological torture. 7LGH970, because you already know that the Ontario police are being disbanded. You already know that they're demons and that they're stalking me. What you need to recognize is that represent businesses that Andy's Burgers represents the people of the state who are obsessed, catching a federal case. This isn't about getting a burger. This is the demons that are obsessed, and you know that. Impossible light across that's not even the sun. It's over the Ontario Town Square yesterday. It's over me in Bakersfield, Kern County, and then San Diego. That's not sunlight either. At 6:59 a.m., the Ontario police are stalking using vehicles on C Street in Euclid. That fake sun never, the Ontario Town Square, which is over there. The demons go out of their way to be on the internet, stalking in helicopter. That's because Mike LORENZ wants you to know. He serves Satan. He's engaged in and interested in protecting pedophiles and engaged in pedophilia. And he's a whole gang stalking terrorist. And he includes that, which the people of the state are engaging in. He incentivizes it. He's a psychopath, a delusional one. And he's done with law enforcement. Okay? It's currently 8:13 a.m. The fake sun documented setting here at the B&G Plaza. The Ontario police specifically stalking me. That's why they're flying over my head on this side of the street on Holt Boulevard. And that's why the fake sun is over me on this side of the street on Holt Boulevard, and not in Oceanside in San Diego and Kern County. Like Kern County is stalking me in helicopter yesterday in 2024. And that's why the sun is not even where it was yesterday, where the Ontario Police Department were stalking in a helicopter. That's the department that has no intention of looking like anything other than sex offenders or psychopaths. Look in the opposite direction is the demonstration of mental illness, just like the same demons who are the people of the state. They're surrounded with evidence. You know exactly what they are and what they're doing, and they look in the opposite direction like it's not happening. That's the psychopath that sought to murder you without you knowing, without you suspecting it, and even if you knew, doing it without anybody else knowing. Trying to harm you, threaten you, psychologically torture you in secret, in darkness. The Ontario police are terrorists, and they're being disbanded. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is 8:14 in the morning, where you'll see the evidence of the fake sun while I'm at the Philadelphia and Euclid Avenue, and it moves as I move.
But while these demons move, including the Ontario police in a helicopter, that sun is not giving equal treatment. While I am documenting what is being isolated through the population of demons who know exactly who I am, and they're engaging in what is a government system. License 7SXS332. Gang stalking sex offenders. City keeps the fakes in over OVITT Family Community Library, Ontario Town Square, not today. That's P.O.C. This is the disbanding of the Ontario Police Department. Violent sex offenders, terrorists that you see all over X, stalking me in helicopters. All right? The most violent, harmful, and threatening means that they could conjure up as demons, as psychopaths, to stalk somebody. And I put it all over the internet in response because they're being disbanded. And they're going to be treated as the template for how you deal with domestic terrorism in the United States, which is committed by corrupt law enforcement agencies who are psychopaths. They're psychopaths. This is P.O.C. It is 8:15 a.m. and that's prefacing the ongoing gang stalking by everybody else. That's P.O.C. Okay? This is the entity that's engaging. While the Ontario police let you know what's happening in the environment, that's letting you know what everybody else is doing. That's stalking in the path with. All right, that's the P.O.C. 8:15 a.m. This is B&G Plaza, which I've documented historically. Engaging from sunrise, middle of the afternoon, sunset, replete with what is Southwest Airlines stalking at the intersection of HOLT Boulevard and Euclid, which the entity is engaging in what is stalking with light. Not a natural environment. None of it is natural behavior. This is all context. They're stalking with the government. 7 UYE 160. Excuse me, 7 UYE 610. And the gang stalking immigrants are going to be deported. All right, that's POC. Omnitrans is monitoring. That's why the fake sun remains over me. But when they're driving by me, that fake sun remains right here. Omnitrans is a gang stalker. POC. Okay, this is the fake sun remaining in the window on the same side of the street where I'm on, where the Ontario police are stalking. The Ontario police are stalking as a part of a government system. That is, the entire city is full of the same entity, meaning a demonic entity engaging in the same criminal conduct on behalf of the public entity. And with regard to that ongoing system that's identified in an environment, this fake sun that's over the Ontario Town Square is not over the bus in a natural environment, and this is not sunlight. You're understanding the crime scene that's recognized on the roads and the highways, where Omnitrans is subject to a prosecution anyway, because the government just provided evidence about what they are inherently engaging in, where the government is engaging in it as well. And you're looking at what is the evidence of the fake sun, the conclusive evidence of it. This is POC. That's POC. We're driving in the direction east on Holt Boulevard. And this is the Ontario police that were stalking by helicopter and going out of their way. Remember, they're going out of their way to be on the internet shown as terrorists. That's POC. And so are the people of the state. This is Title 18 federal stalking, and everybody on the bus is gang stalking. The person driving the bus is gang stalking, and the business Omnitrans, which is also associated with the corrupt government actor Alan D. WAPNER, okay, who has all of the airlines of the Ontario International Airport stalking and monitoring as well. This is domestic terrorism. This is Bonneview and Holt Boulevard, where the body of evidence showing gang stalking at Mercy House, gang stalking at the Dollar General. I've been at this location before, the Motel 6 off of 4th Street, the U-Haul at the intersection. This is all evidence sitting on the record, where the Ontario police, again, are the foolish demons that are speaking to the evidence of a government and a population stalking, where the police are stalking, the rest of the entity is stalking. That's the identification of an entity, and so is the fake sun. This is POC. Recall my documentation. I'm on Route 61 on June 3rd, 2025, after 5 p.m., taking the same route. The fake sun's in alignment to me, which I capture at Juniper and San Bernardino Avenue. I'm capturing the fake sun on June 6, 2025, during the 11 a.m. hour, taking the same route in the opposite direction. This is the entity that's, under those circumstances, proving it with evidence. This is the prosecution of not only the business, it's the prosecution of the government, the prosecution of the people of the state. And again, Alan D. WAPNER is being removed from office. All right, documentation of Ontario police stalking me at Mayfair Inn, the Ontario Fire Department, American Medical Response, fake sun remaining until sunset while it's over me while I'm at that same property in the morning. It's 8:20 a.m. The fake sun is the one that's setting at Mayfair Inn on video, not the natural environment, where the city of Ontario that you see stalking in helicopter has been engaged in years of surveillance and sexual violence with a population of demons. Means of public transportation, engage in as a means of public corruption. All right, this is POC. It's 8:20 a.m. All right, it is August 22nd, 2025, and as the Ontario Police Department exposed to the rest of the world, namely, most importantly, the federal government, that has been provided exclusive insight as well as the rest of the world because it's a public investigation of the United States government. They've been also given what is conclusive evidence that is even beyond a reasonable doubt that the government is not only engaged in surveillance, but they're engaged in what is organized crime and furtherance of murdering and kidnapping, violating the constitutional rights and human rights of American citizens, where they are targeting them. And they're doing so with regard to a condition that you need to be aware of. These are specifically the demon-possessed. They are mentally ill with regard to analyzing and prosecuting, treating the behavior of those that are of that condition, and they're also recognizable by that behavioral pattern that's occurring in a specific environment. And that specific environment, by definition, is supernatural. It is impossible to occur naturally. It is obvious also in its appearance, and it is coexisting with the behavioral pattern by a population, and it is underscored, punctuated by the stalking, harassment, and terrorizing conduct of the government. Like the Ontario Police provides the evidence that is exposing the population of demons that are gang stalking with that department. So the video that you just listened to is, again, that's mental illness exhibited. Okay, no government wants to be placed in the light like the state of California has, and that's based on the obsessive and delusional behavior of violent psychopaths. So you need to understand, while you're seeing them target me and they're surrounded with evidence, you are understanding how many people they have violated, how many people are dead at the hands of the Ontario Police Department, how many people's constitutional rights have been violated. They're sitting around wrongly accused in a facility somewhere, and they weren't able to document. They weren't able to exercise their own rights with regard to being relieved from that unlawful circumstance created by a corrupt government that operates its own system under the guise of having the authority under the Constitution, because a corrupt police department lies, a corrupt court confirms it, and corrupt sheriff's departments house innocent people, and that's where they also lose their lives. When you're seeing gang stalking underway, it's that which is occurring with that population, and that includes the demons that are at the United States Postal Service, where the Ontario Police Department are providing the template for recognizing domestic terrorism, which is changing the landscape in the United States of America, okay? Because it's no longer an unsubstantiated conspiracy theory. The psychopaths that are, again, understanding the threat that they pose while they are facing exposure, they are showing the psychopaths that they've been the whole time. They're showing the sex offenders, they're showing the rapists, the murderers that they've been, the kidnappers that they've been the entire time, while they're now facing exposure and they engage in more of that conduct, okay? So now what you're paying attention to, I'm capturing video at the same time, you're capturing the entity that is now concentrating plane activity and helicopter activity on Holt Boulevard at the United States Postal Service. This is the entity that's engaging in gang stalking. This is what they're doing, concentrating on this activity over the Ontario Town Square where I've been, all right? This is what the entity is doing with regard to recognizing the stalking conduct, the surveillance by the government that's doing it with the people of the state. The entity's engaged in this. It's currently, I'm capturing video at what is 8:26 a.m. at 1555 East Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California, and that is under the fake sun, which is conclusive evidence as well. The fake sun's now on the opposite side of the street because I am on the opposite side of the street. The time of day, it's 8:28 a.m. I am also remaining at the Ontario Town Square yesterday, where the two are not happening at the same time, and you're looking at what is the entity that is stalking in a manner which is conclusively establishing a pattern of following from place to place, using what is aircrafts to do so with the people of the state that are stalking in that environment as well, engaging in shared surveillance. Doing so while you see the fake sun reflecting off of the windshield of a demon engaging in surveillance, demons of all races, that shared condition, demons, okay? Those that are sharing in what is the system of pedophilia, okay? Griffith is engaging in what is light activity. This is all giving context regarding the fake sun. There's no sun in San Diego, California like it was in 2024 when I was there on the same day at the same time yesterday. There's no sun even in 2025 when you're looking at what happened 24 hours ago. And there's also no mistaking that pattern of conduct when the government are full with actual mentally ill psychopaths who lose control and can no longer try to hide and contain the fact that they're obsessed with an American citizen whom they're stalking in furtherance of murder. And that obsession is not only based on their mental illness, which is rooted in a spiritual condition, they're demons. 9RBY011 is as well, where the Ontario police are engaged in surveillance with them under a fake sun, showing targeting by that environment as it is demonstrated through the conduct of a demon-possessed, corrupt police department that literally followed me from place to place. And both of those places, B&G Plaza, fake sun, on the opposite side of the street where I'm walking on that side of the street on the bus, going in this direction, which is east on Holt Boulevard, and it's on that opposite side of the street. And as I cross to this side of the street, so does the fake sun. And you also see the Ontario Police Department stalking in a helicopter and stalking by planes over this venue where I'm at and have not been, and nor does the sun remain over the Ontario Town Square at 224 North Euclid Avenue at the same time, nor is it remaining in Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles at 1800 to 1818 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, where the LAPD is stalking, engaging in the same state surveillance system, nor is it in what is Oceanside, San Diego, or Kern County, where I'm traveling on this day and yesterday in 2024, where you are surrounding all angles with regard to recognizing the system of surveillance where murders occur, murders that are occurring by the government. License 7BBJ471 and GM191, this handicap plate, these two demons that conspire to murder someone, they're not murdering them and committing a crime that the government that's gang stalking is ignorant about. These are demons that engage in conduct that's committed as an entity, when you're recognizing the greater pattern of conduct. And then you're aware that the gang stalkers who are police departments, they want to masquerade as police department, has taken that likes to masquerade as an angel of light. They're engaging what is playing hostage robbery. Okay? That's the P.O.C. This is where the entity is, again, nowhere near the Ontario Town Square, but wants to feign as though they're taking off over here. That is, again, the pattern of conduct. There are no flights taking off miles away from the airport, so that's what this is. The airport is back there. This is 1630 Holt Boulevard. This is 1555 East Holt Boulevard, and this is the entity that's doing so with regard to, remember what they're doing over Woodside Senior Apartments, when they're acting like they took off right here. And where are they acting like they took off right here? Where they do U-turns, where the fake sun is over me. This is Alan D. Wapner, Michael LORENZ, Michael GERKEN, Paul Leon, the entire gang stalking corrupt city council, which is a prosecution of the state of California, and you are understanding what is mental illness. And this mental illness results in what is the massacre, the murder of American citizens, and it's been going on for decades, and especially under Paul Leon's watch, and he's being removed from office, and the Ontario Police Department is being disbanded, and every gang stalking, quote-unquote, police officer, they're going to federal prison. They're under this fake sun engaging in what is psychological torture and acting in furtherance of the conspiracy to commit murder with the people of the state. Dang it. Oh, my video, I'm looking at my video right now. Hold on. My video stopped recording, but you're listening to the planes taking off right here at 1630 and 1486. That's across the street, and I'm at 1555 East Holt Boulevard. This is the post office that's supposed to be accepting mail on my behalf. Understand the court case, the mail that was withheld from me, it's a part of the pattern of conduct. It was state action. It was not something that the Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields and Eric Spencer committed of their own volition. They weren't paying that particular mailman to withhold my mail. It's a whole system with regard to targeting me. That's why I'm being targeted at the United States Postal Service. That's why every gang stalker identified in a United States Postal Service vehicle and uniform are engaging in that same P.O.C. It's not that individual that's delivering the mail that withheld notifications that I should have been privy to regarding a court case concerning property that belongs to me, but yet these demons have a secret conservatorship and fraudulent marriages to me on paper so that they can steal my property, while the Ontario Police, the City of Ontario, is gang stalking in the way that the Ontario Police Department and the City of Ontario confirm day after day after day. Okay, not even appearing on the surface as something that anybody, let alone myself, is making up or imagining or being unreasonable or hypersensitive about. Oh no, they literally follow from place to place. They did so in that remarkable environment that I identified. And the entity is, they're the ones that are mentally ill as you are recognizing it. And then the malice behind that, trying to falsely depict the character of someone else, which is relevant to mental illness that's being projected. All right, that's what you're listening to though. The video stopped recording. I'm still gonna upload it because I'm still going through the analysis as you can hear it. So the demons that are monitoring with the Ontario Police, 9LRA692. And so is Griffith. They've got flashing lights. I'm taking pictures of light activity. This is not construction work. Everything's given context where the fake sun is over me. This is speaking to a statewide system. And that's why the fake sun is over me. So if you called yourself wearing a hard hat and you're doing construction, well, you're gang stalking when the fake sun is over me in your presence and you're engaging in that same exact pattern of conduct. While the Ontario Police, in what is a prosecution for a conspiracy to commit murder, confirms that flying over me in your presence under the fake sun in amongst your light activity where surveillance is underway. That's at 1555 East Holt Boulevard. GM191, she's on video getting out of the vehicle when she's aware that she is on camera. She was stalking the whole time, and so is 9KJJ5 582. So it's 7VBJ 471, and they all were, and let me be clear, as you hear me begin to analyze the P.O.C, who starts stalking in helicopters? 6SVC 504, the Ontario Police, okay? License 9AVE 889, they're not a police department. They've already been relieved of their duties, and they're going to be embarrassed with regard to the way in which they're going to be treated as the un-American corrupt terrorist organization that they are. They're already being embarrassed. You're looking at what is delusional conduct that is to the demise of every public official, the government, the state that's going to pay some penalties for this, okay? For what they're doing. I'm just going to keep it at that. License 9RBY011, 6EWR886. This is what Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields solicited against me. This is what Jason Isaac Fields is still committing with the Ontario Police. He is directly engaged in terrorizing me, stalking me, harassing me, as though bullying me is going to cause me to concede that he wasn't lying on my character, that he didn't steal money from me, and so I won't testify against him in court, so I won't press charges against him. This is a delusion. That's the same demonic spirit. And that demonic spirit, with regard to giving you spiritual context about the reality of what's happening in the spiritual realm, which you need to no longer deny and ignore, it's relevant to criminal conduct that he's going to be prosecuted for inevitably, because he's solicited this criminal system that is still underway. So you're not going to put on a hat of an investigator, and you're no longer, no, you're going to federal prison for what I'm still documenting. License 8RLX 706, 6SVC 504 is a demon, Latino male, walks right into the post office. That's the federal RICO case against every business that's gang stalking. DOG 4LIF. Okay, this is P.O.C. And the fake sun being over me and not being over the Ontario Town Square is how you know that they are all targeting me. All right, the fake sun being over me at 1555 East Holt Boulevard, replete with stalking by helicopter, stalking proven and identified in that supernatural environment. License 9MZR 551 is what is evidence of this entity, including the license plates that I'm reciting, targeting me. And the entity is engaging in what is theft, including the commercial plane flying from behind this building at 1486. That's not an airport takeoff. Neither is it over the Ontario Town Square. Neither is it over 507 North Euclid Avenue. Neither is it over 506 North Euclid Avenue, the Chevron on Euclid Avenue. Nor is it when they're flying over 325 West G Street, which is, by the way, miles away northwest from this location where they're taking off on Holt Boulevard. Okay, this is the entity that's going to be, in every way, the comprehensive prosecution. And the entity does so with regard to, not only is it proven by the evidence, then the demons engage in the behavior in your face. Hence thousands of videos of evidence of targeting by a government. And it is gang stalking. Gang stalking is demonic activity. You're looking at demons engaging in targeting conduct. You're looking at demon-possessed people engage in mentally deranged behavior. And that behavior is going to be used to diagnose them. Okay, gang stalking police officers that provide 20 minutes of pacing around in a circle in a helicopter, stalking in an unfathomable way in the United States, wasting all that money, all that power, and all that manpower, because that's not power, stalking somebody in a helicopter. That's somebody that's really pathetic. Again, Mike LORENZ is not merely, he's not derelict. He's literally engaged in what is knowledge, and you cannot be ignorant, nor shall you be treated as though you're ignorant when you have this level of evidence against a targeting police department. He is being removed from position, and he is not accepted from a federal prosecution for, as a terrorist leader, targeting me in furtherance of committing murder and sending his demon-possessed soldiers, those little imps, all the gang stalkers under the fake sun, wearing Ontario Police Department uniforms, federal prison. They're all going to federal prison. Everyone that I documented. And they're going to federal prison while you're seeing the Ontario Police gang stalking, because that's what they're doing in the vehicles, stalking. And they're doing so pursuant to what is an ongoing system that is psychologically harmful. You're going to federal prison for psychologically torturing American citizens whom you are conspiring to murder, because that's what's happening amongst the system of surveillance. That's why you're doing it. That's why Tracy Banks had a secret conservatorship. That's why Jason Isaac Fields was in court defaming my character. That's why the people of the state were in secret court hearings about property that the government never told me about, lying and saying that I'm a drug addict, saying that I'm a prostitute, saying that I'm a child molester, saying all manner of unspeakable things that could not be farther from the truth, while I've been in the field documenting the pattern of conduct since 2018. You're going to federal prison as a gang stalking police officer. You are acting in furtherance of that with knowledge. And by the way, the idiots that continuously stalk from place to place in a helicopter is why you're going to federal prison. You smart people, you're going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. And the entity is gang stalking at the post office, which is relevant to targeting that's underway. This is audible activity and light activity by a demon stalking at the post office. Okay, that's the cart on the brick-laden ground under the fake sun. That's audible activity, relevant positioning, and audible activity. And light activity. This is P.O.C. It's 8:40 a.m.
9NWK831. The entity concentrating plain activity right here outside of the United States Postal Service where they are gang stalking. By the way, United States Postal Service that is gang stalking me is representing the federal government. This is also when I'm documenting gang stalking by the U.S.PS out on the roads and the highways. You need to understand that that is information letting you know that this is surveillance that's underway, okay? These are the ongoing telltale signs of what it is that I have thoroughly exposed in a body of evidence. But that's also how you know when you have the USPS engaged in monitoring, surveillance is underway throughout the states, okay? And it's an existent elaborate system, a long existing elaborate system. It is currently 8:52 a.m. And I also want to document the United States Postal Service that is engaging in surveillance, who knows exactly who I am, and has engaged in what is targeting me in several financially prohibitive ways, manners that are causing oppression, such as the theft of my vehicle and the entity engaging in what is delivery of mail to the DMV, if DMV even ever got that mail, which again, the entity, DMV is the same state of California, the same state of California that stole my vehicle, knows my name, and is on my mail pieces misspelling my name, giving different alterations of my name, but yet I'm documenting them gang stalking me under the fake sun. They know exactly. It's like a funny, unfunny joke, but I documented it because you need to see the malice. This isn't an accident. It's not a typo. This is the entity that's engaged in gang stalking, and this is the entity that's also where the documentation, and these are the silly little games and tactics that they employ because, oh, well, if we don't know who you are, that's why we misspelled your name. Oh, we don't know who you are, that's why when we're crossing paths in a police vehicle, we're looking the opposite direction while the fake sun is over your head and the entity is stalking in hell. We don't know who you are, we're not stalking you, that's why I don't know your name. That's why I never talked to you before, that's why we don't know each other. And that, like, that means that. Okay, this is a false logic, and this is what the entity relies on, though. And as you're looking at me, show it to you and break that down for you, it's a very thin veneer. It's very superficial, and it does not stand up under the facts and the weight of those facts of what is like comprehensive evidence, including the stupidity of the Ontario police following me to the post office on Holt Boulevard under the fake sun that is not over the Ontario Town Square, and which would not be at all if the natural environment was what I was surrounded by on the same day at the same time in a whole other place in California. I went to Kern County, and I was staying in San Diego at Fairfield Inn and Suites. And then I traveled to another hotel. And I documented the entire time. The fake sun is remaining dynamic from county to county. And guess what else is going on? The government, the gang stalking entity, is stalking in helicopter. And I show you that fake sun over my vehicle, over my head, that is, on the roads and the highways, where the post office, the United States Postal Service, knows exactly who I am. They know how my name is spelled. They know the reality of what is the ongoing purpose in targeting me. All right, they're a part of that same criminal conspiracy. So I just want to document that. This is an entity that doesn't have any, again, that's not going to stand up and go, oh, well, I'm not gang stalking because I wasn't looking at her when she crossed path and she got my license plate while the helicopter was flying over her head under that specific environment, which is conclusive evidence of target. This is the entity that doesn't have any plan. You literally don't have a plan when you're both engaged in the stupidity. And understand that stupidity is because they're demons. They cannot control themselves. And since gang stalkers of a corrupt police department, they can't control themselves. That's a threat to the public, first of all. But since you can't control yourself, you're going to be restrained. You're going to be restrained. But that's what you need to understand. Because that level of instability being exhibited all over the internet, proving what is surveillance, and that's not just surveillance by that department, that's surveillance by everybody that was targeting me with that department. This is what the demons are forgetful about when they think they're retaliating while I'm talking. No, you're not. Ocean's going to federal prison. 9UIM 917. Tracy Banks is going to federal prison. Jason Isaac-Phil's her sex partner, targeting me with every law enforcement. This is the federal government. He's going to federal prison. All right, so anyway, it's currently 8:56 a.m. I just want to document that the entity is maintaining the audible noise in what was ordinarily and what is usually a quiet post office, not when they're monitoring. It's the same thing with being in a library. Oh, no, it's not quiet when they're monitoring. Okay, and
the entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct with knowledge that it's being exposed, and then you're able to witness that mental illness that they were supposed to be trying to hide in the first place. And it's not hidden under the fake sun. It's not hidden with the stalkers and helicopters and planes. That's the extreme. Like, you're doing all of that for one person that you should. Why are you stalking them in the first place? You need to understand that the spiritual realm is very real. Christ Jesus is the one that's giving you this information, by the way. And that's because your enemy, the devil, Satan himself, who is a spirit, is also real. And he's using people who have lost their right mind. And that's not a defense in court, because they're active of their own volition, but you need to understand that they are sick. They're sick behavior with regard to stalking, stalking in bathrooms, stalking in helicopters, stalking as a whole entity, stalking while they're on the surface, engaging with his conduct that they're ashamed to be spoken of in the light, but it is. And it's speaking truth about what they are doing and what they're interested in accomplishing. And no sane person would have anything to do with that. And because you look to the left and right, that's not evidence that you're not engaging in. You're already surrounded by the evidence. Okay? And by thousands of people that have been documented before you. Before I encountered you. All right. It is currently, again, 8:57 a.m. This is P.O.C. And the entity is stalking with impossible light, such as what is. Let me show you these Caucasian demons. All right, I give you the race because I'm letting you know there's no such thing as what are superior races. These are demons. These are lower level spiritual minions stalking me. You want to talk about racism? White people are stalking black people. That's reality. You're distracted with things, with ideas like that, when these are spirits that want you to feel as though you are lesser than who you are in Christ Jesus, which you'll never know if you believe what Satan is telling you about your external appearance, which is irrelevant. Because I'm going to let you know right now, Satan and the one that is envious of you because you are made in the image of God is envious and wants to be you, wants to be in your skin, hates you, okay? And wants you to hate yourself. That's why you have white people stalking black people, and at the same time you have white people speaking as though, and you would only, even outside of knowledge about the spiritual realm and what they're actually doing, you have to be someone that is oppressed of the mind in order to even absorb these irrational and illogical doctrines such as racism. And the reason in your mind why you really believe, no, they don't believe anything. They're deceived by their father, the devil. It's a spirit, and it doesn't even make any logical sense. Okay? Anyway, it's currently 8:58 a.m. This is P.O.C. at 1555 East Holt Boulevard, where the entity is keeping the fake sun. It's 8:59. Remember what's happening yesterday. It's nowhere near. It's at 224 North Euclid Avenue, where I'm documenting. Southwest Airlines, Delta Airlines, UPS Airlines. They're all stalking over that Ontario Town Square. The demons are stalking under the fake sun at the Ontario Town Square, and this is showing you a whole population of demons that are stalking me. Okay, it's underscored, it's highlighted when you are looking at that level of juxtaposition of when I'm in a different county and you see different law enforcement agencies engaging in that same pattern of conduct. All right, this is a statewide system and it's happening throughout the country. It's 8:59 a.m. This is P.O.C. Eight NBR 942. And crossing path, driving through the parking lot, the fake signs over the United States Postal Service. This is how you're recognizing a population targeting in a manner that they didn't think demons would be identified. An impossible light is inside of the building. This is P.O.C. All right, that's impossible light all in the corner. They're walking in it, it's monitoring. And this is all underneath a structure right here. This is all impossible light activity, impossible to naturally carry, and it's present because monitoring is underway. Noise as I walk, noise as they walk, monitoring. And additionally, I'll show you, that's impossible light activity, okay? This is impossible light activity. All right, and in the environment where that's happening, everybody's just standing in line, minding their business. No, this is monitoring. They're not minding their business, and on top of that, they're demons. The United States Postal Service is monitoring. Just like I documented inside of what is the UPS store, where they're monitoring, where, again, the evidence of a fake sun. When is it going to be over the Glendale UPS store since I've been remaining in Ontario on one street? Okay, and in what environment is the sun ever going to stay over one building for 12 hours? Omnitrans does not have a sun that remains in the window of that vehicle, regardless of the direction on the same route, no matter what direction that they're going for the duration of the day. Okay, the planes are not taking off over the Ontario Town Square, they're stalking. Okay, stalking where the engineer light is, stalking where the fake sun is. This is pacing. This is giving you the context. And these are demons. All right, that's the P.O.C. So I'm going to just let you know, with regard to my shadow that's appearing over here, this is demonic. And these are demons, and this is a state surveillance system that is ran by the demon-possessed who are also in government. That's Southwest. That's focusing on where I'm at, also at the Ontario Town Square, in concert with the Ontario Police Department, under what is a fake sun that is right here over me, which is how you know they are stalking you from clients. And so are these demons. I'm going to report them to the federal government. License plate. DPI West in Ontario, California is monitoring. License 7N97679. License 2NT-DY2. These are the demons that are stalking in the bathroom. They're coming in, pacing, not even actually having any business, just with regard to the intent to maintain presence. There's no light that's going to occur and under any natural, normal circumstances. And there's no sun that would ever be over this window at all. Okay? This is an entity that is stalking. They're monitoring, and these are demons that are monitoring together, coming in here with their families, coming in here standing in line, just waiting to be helped. This is gang stalking, and it's public corruption. And the Ontario Police Department are here monitoring right now, as you understand the system occurring directly and vicariously. And it doesn't help when you have a bunch of imbeciles who are maniacal psychopaths, who are exposed for gang stalking, and then they engage in the ongoing rage, which, because they're psychopaths, that's why they're rageful, and they fly over the venue stalking. And then you're supposed to look normal standing in line. No, you don't. Everybody knows what you're doing, and they know what you are. They're all demons. They're demons. And this is, again, the federal government that's engaging in surveillance, USPS, monitor, P.O.C. It's 9:15 a.m. All right, capturing a video of Southwest Airlines stalking, just like you see them everywhere else, doing so in concert with the people of the state and the same city of Ontario, gang stalking under the fake sun. You've seen that same crime scene. It's underway at the United States Postal Service, where there is no exception. So that's speaking to identifying what is the federal government that is engaging in criminal surveillance, which I demonstrated through evidence years ago. Okay? That's why you have an entity through a government operation trying to steal property from me, while I'm subject to surveillance, which is the means whereby the entity sought to commit murder, committed as a government. Not some random criminal, or not an act of suicide, okay, but also even at the hands of another person. It's not that criminal, it's not a person, it's not an individual, it's an entity. It's an entity that engages in what are murders. And then these demons play cops and robbers, having an investigation, determining the cause of death, determining who did what, where are the fingerprints, what evidence do we have. They're keeping themselves employed. They're giving themselves recognition for being corrupt. You've seen the LAPD on Dateline. You've seen that? You've seen the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department on Dateline, 48 hours. Criminal conduct happening in San Diego, California. These demons that are engaging in surveillance and have for a long time know exactly what's happening. They like to be on TV and pat themselves on the back. These are psychopaths that are stalking me with this level of malice. These bloodthirsty demons. All right? This is the pattern of conduct. They play cops and robbers. They know exactly what's happening. That's why the Ontario police are showing you that level of delusion, because their game is over. Their game is over. What do you see? Oh, stalking. Why would you? No, saying defendant, because that's what the government is. The defendant is going to provide that evidence against everybody, including 9BJW400, 8WLC356, 45383S2. Not only helicopter activity, fake sun, engineer light outside, but it's inside of the depths of the United States Postal Service. Okay? Now, this is just a criminal conduct. This is criminal conduct, a criminal system, an elaborate one that no one was ever supposed to be aware of. But I want to be clear. I'm being targeted, and you can give a physical reason for it. Oh, because there's money and property that belongs to me. But it's deeper than that. It's because the demon-possessed know who are not like them. I don't serve Satan, and that represents a threat. And they know that I am able to let you know what they are doing maliciously to other people and what they are doing as a whole entity, a bunch of demons. Defining that for you. It is a spiritual condition, status. They're in darkness, they're lost, they're wicked. That's also proven through their behavior and conduct in this system, which I will prosecute for. But these are the demon-possessed. Their father is the devil. And they are threatened by the fact that they know that I would be able to identify and tell you about it. And the Lord Jesus himself also knows that those who would believe would hear what it is that I'm letting you know, what it is that the Lord Jesus actually is the one that's telling you. Because I do not have the ability to recognize all of this. And as in-depth as this P.O.C. is, this is all given from Christ Jesus. This is insight and knowledge and discernment given from the Lord God himself. Okay? And the devil, Satan himself, is very much threatened by that. So this is what you need to know at the outset. And then you're getting into what the Lord God trained me to do also. This is why he had me go to law school. He knew I was surrounded by demons that were going to try to kill me off. He knew that. I didn't know that. I did not know that, okay? But now understanding and taking into context everything that he had me to experience so that I would be prepared for this very day, for this, okay? But Satan knows who you are. And Satan is targeting for that purpose because you represent a threat. A threat with regard to outing what he's doing. CWC 8592. And it's outside of race, it's outside of age, it's outside of economic status, it's outside of position, it's outside of popularity. And whatever these demons think that they are, whatever they've established with regard to their reputation and their stature amongst society, amongst a whole bunch of demons, it doesn't matter. They're pedophiles and thieves and liars. They're criminals. They're hypocrites. They're psychopaths. There's nothing impressive. And by the way, there's nothing elite nor sophisticated about it either. It's not even intelligent, okay, at all. So that's how capable you are. That's how impressive you are. Not even the slightest, not even a little bit. You have the most raggedy, disshuffled, pungent smelling, ignoramus stalking on the side of a dumpster, and you have a demon that is gang stalking me in the same manner with the same mental illness, that same level of obsession and mental sickness, calling itself a fire chief, calling itself a mayor, calling itself a police officer. The absurdity of this. And the demons knew from the outset, understand, because it is spiritual. It is spiritual. But what you're recognizing is that it's not impervious to a prosecution. And so this is combining what the malicious entity that are a bunch of demons that think that they can execute people and that nobody sees them. This is the ability to take what they're doing in the spiritual realm and bring it down into the physical in order to prosecute them and make them stand before courts, stand before and suffer what are the consequences, what justice requires. They're not invisible, they're not capable, and they're not able to get away with it. All right, this is relevant. This is all relevant to being gang stalked at the post office. 1555 East Hope Boulevard in Ontario, California. This is P.O.C. It's 9:21 a.m. All right, license 76742A3. Gang stalking, where the entity is also stalking by planes at the same venue. This is 1486 East Holt Boulevard. Fake sun over me, stalking using commercial vehicles. License 7GJK551 8ZRJ978 6KW47. Oh, I can't really see that one. License 9GQT582. 9G20106, GDL Express Incorporated, that's a large truck. Commercial actors engaging in the pattern of conduct. This is speaking to a system of public corruption. I'm documenting the millions of people that are engaging in a ceaseless pattern of conduct. And that's also informing you about the millions of people that are in spiritual darkness, the demon-possessed, the mentally ill, the perverted, the maniacal. And that is literally trying to cloak itself and present as normal, law-abiding, even citizens, even productive citizens, okay? And they're not. This whole system of gang stalking someone is happening through all the families, through all the businesses, through all the neighborhoods, all right? All the cities, all the counties in the state. And that's what the demon-possessed don't want you to know about. And that is a very real threat. That level of criminal conduct, and a stay-home mom that's engaged in the conspiracy to commit murder by gang stalking, and you'll never associate that with her on the surface. Okay, she babysits all the neighborhood kids. She's really good with them. She teaches all of them the alphabet. She teaches them little alphabet songs so that they memorize it really well. Kids work really well underneath her. All right. She's a friendly demeanor. Okay. She's got a background in teaching children. License TWEDDY 7MWP 809 8TBF 161. One demon after another monitoring, stalking. 9JSW 105. Everybody's coming to check their mail because they're engaging in gang stalking. License 5XXT 723 278 36A3. And Sally Sue, who's the neighborhood babysit who works really well with children, is a demon-possessed psychopath who's gang stalking another person's child. She's monitoring another person's child.
All right, and she's doing so unbeknownst to that child who doesn't understand why they're having horrible nightmares about dying, about being choked to death, about suffocating, about seeing dark spirits in their mind, and it scares them when they wake up. And then Sally Sue, who's babysitting that child, wakes up and soothes them, gives them a hug, and is casting spells on them, cursing them, and is also engaged in what is sexually violating them, monitoring their genitalia when they're in the bathroom, violating them in ways that a child's not actually able to recognize and identify the inappropriate nature of it. And they're also not telling their parents, who are a part of that pattern of conduct. They're even letting Sally Sue engage in it because they don't want their child to recognize that they are targeting them as well. The entity is engaging in what is monitoring this child and doing so the entirety of their life while they are surrounded by the whole neighborhood full of demons, 7SMJ613, just like Sally Sue, who is the babysitter monitoring that child, but she's good with all the rest of the children. And on the surface, she's even good with the child that she's monitoring. All right? That's the entity. In doing so, that child lives in a house where the fake sun rises and sets over that household. All right? Where they are subject to what is unfair treatment at school, being bullied by the children at school, or it doesn't necessarily have to happen in that way, but I'm just giving you what is the appearance of the thing on the surface and what's happening in substance, because it's a spiritual realm. But I'm letting you know how you can recognize what's happening, what the demon-possessed try to hide from you. They can't hide it from you. So in order that you may not be ignorant of the enemy's devices, that's what I'm showing you how to do, what's necessary to do. Okay? Because I was a child and I was surrounded by this. I was raised by a demon. I was surrounded by demons. And the entity did utilize, and that's only because Christ Jesus permitted it. Okay, and in anything that he permits, it's for your own good. And it also serves his purposes, because in a lot of ways it saved my life, what the Lord delayed with regard to what these demons know about me, because, and I'll just leave that at that. But the entity is engaging in what is targeting me since I was a child, including the government, including the demons, every person that's ever been in my life. There's never been, every single person that I ever met since childhood, they're all demons. And so the entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct, and this is what's happening amongst what you're looking at everyday life. What do you see on the news? People going to work, businesses, they're talking about all manner of things, good and bad, on social media. These are demons in the United States. A satanic system of surveillance is underway. That's what the United States is actually engaged in. That's what the United States is actually about. And unfortunately, the Ontario Police Department put itself at that. They didn't even try with regard to the optics, with the way that the thing looks on its surface. That's how thoroughly proven as psychopaths and stalkers, criminals, corrupt, that the City of Ontario, remember, City of Ontario is letting you know what's happening in the rest of the state. They are the ones that did that, because it's one thing for me to make allegations, one thing for me to go about the work of proving it. It's another for you to walk in conformity to it, to literally play in my hand. It's another thing for you to do that. That's a whole other beast, okay? So the entity's engaging in what is self-destructive, because they are mentally ill, and this is what I said at the outset. All right? And they do this to children. They do this to children that they know are spiritually gifted, children that they know that they cannot control. They know that from an early age. All right, so this is an entity that's engaging in that, and all I'm doing is showing you how to look at the surface. Look at the surface. Yes, look at the surface, but do not be deceived by the surface, and do not stop at the surface, because what's happening on the surface is not necessarily what's happening in substance, in reality. When you're dealing with the demon possessed, meaning you're dealing with Satan that is relying upon illusions. Okay, it looks like the sun in the sky, but when you look at it 6 hours later and it's in the same location, and you're looking at a randomness with regard to the inconsistency of what's supposed to be the natural environment, that's getting beyond the surface. It looks like one thing, but it's something totally different. And there's a reason for it. All right? And that is the purpose of the P.O.C. 82567W2, 9HWJ502, 7LBU320. This is P.O.C. and it's currently 9:30 a.m. All right, monitoring me with the Ontario Police is the so-called military outreach. All right, the military outreach, I don't think they're capable of actually helping anyone when they are demons engaging in malicious conduct such as targeting a woman in furtherance of murder, terrorizing her, psychologically torturing her, monitoring her, because that's what military outreach is doing at 1533 East Holt Boulevard, where you'll see the fake sign over me, license 8RYB 565.
is a part of that demonic clan associated with the military, claiming to be interested in helping the military. Okay, this is the same pattern of conduct, and it doesn't matter what Satan calls itself. While it's engaged in that POC, they are adjacent to the United States Postal Service in the same exact specific environment. The fake sun remains over me as I walk on the property, and there is no exception. You understand, everybody in that building knows that I'm here, and the evidence of that specific environment is the direct knowledge that you have regarding that truth. Now, what I've done is I've told you what it is, and then I went about proving what it is that I told you. And the entity is engaged in the pattern of conduct, and you are looking at the egregious criminal system that is, there's no exception to who is engaging in it at all. License 9KHJ641, a veteran. They're also a demon, and claiming that they trust in God while they're gang stalking in furtherance of a satanic system, the demise of another person. All right, I don't know what God they're referring to, but it's not Christ Jesus, the true and living God, the only God. He must be talking about the God of this world, Satan, whom he is serving, including while he's getting out of his vehicle, using it as a means of light and audible activity, stalking while parking at this venue, and then walking upstairs to the ramp. 1533 is HOLT Boulevard. He must be talking about Satan, the God of this world, lower G God. 25382F4, because not the true and living God. Nobody that serves Christ Jesus and knows him is gang stalking. This is not just criminal conduct, it's demonic activity. Those that literally have the spirit of Satan operating within them, no, you do not. No, you're not. It is, and the spirit of Satan is what is targeting what are Christ followers. You are not. You do not know Christ Jesus. I'm just going to let you, and that's scripture, so you can check that. It's not about your opinion. It's not about how your pride is offended. It really doesn't matter, because that's the truth. And if you stand before him, you're going to hear what nobody wants to hear. Get away from me. You evils, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. While you claim you trust in God and you love God, but you're out here gang stalking on the streets, doubling as a demon and a Bible study leader on Sunday and Saturday night. You cannot deceive anybody. You certainly can't deceive me while I'm prosecuting you, and you cannot deceive Christ, who knows your heart. He knows the intentions behind your actions, meaning he knows what you're thinking and what you intend based upon greater than what he knows about what you're physically doing. He knows all of that. And those that claim that they know Christ, you know, you're going to stand before him and you will learn. But I will be clear. The Bible says very clearly that you will know them, and you'll know them by their deeds. So you can say whatever. You can even act like and do whatever. But your deeds, meaning your fruits, they will never lie. You can only lie and act in front for so long, which the P.O.C. also shows. 7MZE388. It is currently 9:37 a.m. I want to document Omnitrans 6AXP638 8WNV073 EF71R59 paper and 48227S3. The entity, which is Omnitrans, and it's the same African-American female that was driving the Omnitrans bus that I got on, as Ontario police is stalking by helicopter, while the fake sun is on the opposite side of the same street, HOLT Boulevard. While she's on the bus, she's gang stalking while she's driving it. So she is engaging in targeting me. It is that detailed and personal, while acting as an entity. But I want to document driving right by and not stopping, and I've been documenting harassment targeting by Omnitrans, the company, with regard to their methods of gang stalking, which includes targeting me as a patron of the transit route, of that transit provider, the public transit company, Omnitrans. And the entity is engaging in what is crossing path. Now, they do have some construction, so but it's clearly the Griffith company pulled up all their cones and whatnot, and so perhaps they're not stopping in the middle of the road, but I'm going to document it anyway because Omnitrans is gang stalking, and the entity is engaging in what is changing what they do, maneuvering, especially around based on what I document, what I expose about them as I expose it, and it's happening under the fake sun. It's still crossing path, they're still gang stalking, but I also want to document what is on its surface appearing to be a means of also harassment, driving right by me when I'm standing there waving the vehicle down. Okay, because of the distance of the bus bench from the street, so I'm making sure that she can see me. But like I said, I will also speak to. It appears as though it may be for construction purposes, which is again. The demons of the Omnitrans have engaged in that very same conduct when there was no construction whatsoever. But like I said, I'll include all the information. But they did that when there's no construction as well. So it is P.O.C. License 5NQE122, gang stalking. It is currently 9:39 a.m. You already know that FedEx is gang stalking. They are right here at the intersection. This is Imperial and HOLT. All right, the people of the state monitoring with their co-defendant. All right, stalking, terrorizing, harassing, molesting with light that's just appearing out of nowhere while they drive by me, gang stalking, state action. It includes Omnitrans, vehicle number 482, license 1516374, driven by an African-American male who is driving the bus that I just got on. I just documented. Fake son travels with me to what is HOLT and Euclid on the same street. The fake son going east and west, remaining over me, not in stride with everybody else, in stride with me. And that's an outright departure from being over the Ontario town square, okay? And everybody that you see stalking, the same city of Ontario, that's the government that's engaging in surveillance. 06129B2, 8J&J 106, these are all sex offenders, demons, molesting with light, streaming toward me. They're doing so while the entity is engaged in that P.O.C. together as one. And the entity is engaged in that pattern of conduct. This is what the people of the state sharing, and then they look stupid on camera when I put my phone in their face, okay? Looking like, what? What are you talking about? That's a psychopath, okay? And like you saw the method yesterday, the aged Latina female who smiles, warmly smiles, hi, while she's engaging in literally diabolical conduct, while the Ontario is engaging in documentation of terrorism in the United States. And you would mistake it for something happening in Afghanistan, but it's happening in Southern California in the United States of America, as I am publishing what the government is doing and foolishly doing it to an American citizen that is exposing it in real time. And that is the corrupt police department stalking an American citizen using helicopters, terrorizing them, harassing them, targeting them. And this is what that entire population, they engage in regularly. So all I'm doing is, at my public service, sharing what the government is doing in secret. And they're not doing it in secret, and they also are psychopaths that play stupid now when they're caught. That's not, you're not looking at innocent people, you're looking at psychopaths. So, and nobody forgets that you're shooting me with light 1 second, and then the next second you're looking stupid when I show the people, everybody, not the demon-possessed people of the state, but the people, the American people, the world, that are looking at what Satan has been doing as a government operation while they're learning that they're under surveillance. Okay, the entity is engaging in this, and it's the same people of the state that like to look dumb when I put the phone and I document them. 8MVW463, 8ECK349, 8NSA015. And this is at Metro 102 Apartments. License 9JZN411. And remember, the fake sun is rising in alignment to me before 7 a.m. United Airlines, Southwest Airlines, UPS Airlines, gang stalking, hovering over the Metro 102 Apartments, where the fake sun was hovering in that peculiar little nook in a perfect alignment with me at this same venue in the parking lot of Metro 102. And here I am at what is 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's still over the Metro 102 Apartments, over the top of my head, where license 9EYM119 is gang stalking by driving into the carport, the underground garage. That's identifying gang stalking, not coming home, not arriving home, not going to visit your friend, you're gang stalking. All right, 9FYJ712, the sun would not still be at the same location. And by the way, at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's also not in Florida. This is a fake sun. This is speaking to where surveillance is identified. You are conclusively surrounded with evidence of surveillance, which is unlawful state action. You don't have any individual rights under the Constitution. You don't have any privacy. It's not a private property. BNCRSHR, I believe, engage in that POC together, 7XXP218. All right, and this is, I'm walking toward the Ontario Town Square, meaning that fake sun you see over me at the bus stop, you see while I'm on Holt Boulevard, and while I am at Metro 102, I have yet to be at Ontario Town. I'm looking at Ontario Town Square, I'm looking at the absence of any sun over the Ontario Town Square, which is evidence of targeting someone, not the evidence of any natural environment. All right, that's the pattern of conduct. The entity is engaging in what is license 9J BC185. Go ahead. And this is the pattern of conduct. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the fake sun's already over the OVITT Family Community Library. What do you think the OVITT Family Community Library is doing? And what do you think they are as they do that? License 67707V2. Stalking with the method of light activity. Demons. They're not stopping at a stop sign. They're stalking me. at the intersection where they are all tracking my steps, which the evidence of the fake sun shows you. And they're psychopaths while they're outside. This is what you're looking at. The whole show, the whole masquerade is now exposed. These aren't people just taking a walk on a break from work from the city hall. They're outside aware of where I'm at, what I'm doing, what direction I'm going, and they're tracking my steps. Stalkers, which is what the living dead are doing. And this is a failed sacrifice that's being publicized for the world to witness the criminal conduct that the American government has been engaging in. Right? 5MBN 577. This is P.O.C. 79296D2, 95773D3. Stalking in the path with light. License Arizona A0325B. That's Arizona. And now the Ontario International Airport's flying over the town square area and not flying over Holt Boulevard anymore. The entity is engaged in it's very idiotic, what I've broken down for you. And that's because they've never had anybody survive a sacrifice. They murder people, and they murder people that are overwhelmed, bullied, and they're also being spiritually attacked. Okay, so, but none of that is working. So now you see they don't know what to do, they can't function, and they also can't make it make sense. CJB 8060, that's Arizona. License 7GKC474, 90120A1. 8EHC 872, stalker, molester. Molesting me with light, that's a sex offender. That's a sex act committed by the government. License 43805L3, suppose you drive is still gang stalking. These are demons engaging in a malicious pattern of conduct as a corrupt business, headquartered in Glendale, where the fake sun is not over that business. The fake sun is over me, where they are stalking as a business, and their demon-possessed employees are stalking under the fake sun. Remember, suppose you drive is stalking in the path with light activity in the middle of the afternoon as well. All right, and this is suppose you drive being prosecuted. You're going to prosecute a business. You're going to prosecute impunity of that business when you're awarding damages, when you're criminally prosecuting them for gang stalking. That's relevant to impunity. Oh, you were engaging in terrorism, and you kept repeating engaging in that. Remember, they're engaging in surveillance, and they're engaging in surveillance of the evidence as well. That's relevant to damage awards. That's relevant to the criminal prosecution. That's relevant to prison time. All right, it's relevant to the charges. It is currently 10:06 a.m. License 8FAF474, 6Z76646. And the fake sun arrives while these demons are stalking in the path at the turn circle, where you know the fake sun is still present at 1:35 in the afternoon, where I'm on the freeway, on the 5 freeway in San Diego County. What is the Camp Pendleton? That's how you know that this is an entity. 9JTC029, and an idiotic one. All right, prosecution ripe for a prosecution in federal court. Okay, that's P.O.C. It is currently 10:07 a.m. and the fake sun arrives as I arrive at this venue. No natural environment includes the fake sun still being here, and no natural environment includes the fake sun departing from already having been here, as I documented on previous occasions. P.O.C. That's activity creation. Crossing path. And light activity. While the same Ontario Police Department is stalking, monitoring with the same demons who go into bathrooms to stalk you. Inside and outside. That's the sex offense committed by the entity of demons who are sexually perverted, engaging in what is obsessive methods of stalking, predatory methods of stalking. The Latino male with the bald head, stalking is what he is engaging in engineered light at a facilitating venue in violation of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2, as I identify that one predator who was sitting exceedingly close to the women's restroom, stalking with males that go into the male restroom to stalk and surround me, and with females engaging in homosexual violence, engaging in coming to stalk and monitor my vagina in the bathroom with the demon that's in position outside of the bathroom. It is currently 2:36 p.m. and you will see the fake sun over the top of my head while I'm standing in the staircase inside of the venue of the library at 215 E.C. Street in Ontario, California at 2:31 p.m. where the sun would never still be present from sunrise at 7 in the morning, 7:45 in the morning, at time of opening at 10 a.m., 10:17 a.m. where you see the Ontario police stalking me as I walk to this very venue, let alone as I arrive this morning in the fake sun where it is already established that surveillance is underway, including in the bathroom inside of this venue. The sun would not be still present at that hour, and it's still currently 2:31 p.m. This is under all circumstances, looking at it from every vantage point, recognizing the sex offense. It's referred to as the perpetual sex offense, which the government is going to be prosecuted as a sex offender. And so are the people of the state. Those demons that are stalking with the entity using helicopter, stalking with the entity using commercial planes, stalking while they're flinging light all over the place, those psychopaths, that entity full of homosexual women, monitoring my vagina, stalking me in the middle of the night, molesting me with impossible light, those are the ones that come in with the government as an entity stalking in the bathroom. That was activity creation, crossing a path in light activity in a private space where there's no legitimate interest in my vagina or in a bathroom. This is P.O.C. This is OVITT Family Community Library. That's a sex offender. It's 2:37 p.m.
Here is Southwest Airlines stalking. All right, this is called crossing path, doing so where the fake sun is located on the same Euclid Avenue over me. Let me show you how Southwest Airlines is stalking. They're stalking in the morning when I'm at on Holt Boulevard, and they're stalking right now crossing path. All right, and they're stalking with the people. See the flashing light? This is the entity acting together. These are demons. The fake sun is still in the city of Ontario. The fake sun is still on the street of Euclid Avenue. This is where the fake sun is located in the morning. This is state surveillance. Gang stalking immigrants are being deported, and this is why. Okay, this is a threat to your life, the ongoing conspiracy to murder while a population keeps you under surveillance. License 6GML555. License Impossible Light, that's a sex offender. License 68402T2. And Southwest Airlines is fully engaging in that ongoing conspiracy. All right, that's a large company that's engaging in sacrificing American citizens. All right, and they do so with the people of the state, and the entity is doing so as a demonic pattern of conduct. Southwest Airlines is engaged in practicing Satanism, sacrificing American citizens. It's legally prosecuted as a conspiracy to commit murder. This is P.O.C. and it's currently 6:11 p.m. 507 North Euclid Avenue. Starbucks is right there. That's where the fake sun is rising while I'm there at that venue, okay? Jason Dumont is gang stalking. You'll see the fake sun seen through the windows of that same venue where Southwest Airlines is engaging in what is proven to be stalking surveillance. And this is the operation of what is use of a vehicle for light activity. In the specific environment, it's recognizing psychopaths who are stalking. 6UEV632, 8MUR446. This is all federal stalking. License 8BJR879, 9RKW830. The bucket crabs and crawfish, they're monitoring. 608 Euclid Avenue, Impossible Light, they're monitoring. 9SMV849, they're all monitoring. 7DEU376, El Pescador Mexican Grill, they're monitoring. And let me show you the ongoing evidence, because the specific environment stalks me, follows me. That's why that entire venue is prosecuted with regard to the federal RICO case, while the demonic environment follows you. And I've highlighted it for you so that you can see the specific environment, which is nothing close to the natural environment, remain over one street all day long. This is P.O.C. It's 6:12 p.m.
All right, molesting at Motel 6, license 7E03715, 5BSV217. This is the gang stalking establishment, which I've already documented with the Ontario Police, with Tracy Banks. Fake sun, Ontario Police stalking by helicopter outside of my hotel room. Fake sun remaining, sunrise, ongoing impossible light activity inside of the room, all manner of terrorism. And they are gang stalking right now, sex offense, stalking in the night, molesting my body, sex offenders. License 6KWC249, 9PKG635, 5ZGY625, 6TWA022, 9JLT389, 9STR906, 17095L2, And this is 231 Vineyard Avenue in Ontario, California, 91762, 9VCB 547, and a sex offender lying in wait, waiting to touch me, license 9FIN066. That's P.O.C. And it's currently 8:12 p.m. All right, this will be added with regard to the gang stalking, the entity that is stalking me from place to place as I document via podcast, the government that is keeping me under surveillance, and this is the evidence of the government following me from place to place. This is P.O.C.
All right, the entity is amplifying audible activity while, I just want to be clear. The airport, there's no airport over here off of G Street. This is where the 10 freeway is, and they're literally flying in this direction, which is east, and making a U-turn flying over here. They are stalking, and the entity's amplifying helicopter activity inside of my room. This is a sex offender that's monitoring inside of a private space, just like at Economy Inn, just like at Mayfair Inn, just like at Courtyard by Marriott, just like at Fairfield Inn and Suites, all right, just like at Hilton, just like at the La Quinta Inn, just like at Best Western, all right, just like in my apartment at Alvarado Gardens, just like in my apartment in Upland, California. This is a sex offender. That's the government, and that's letting you know what everybody else is doing, okay? It's also letting you know where the fake sun is going to be. You already know where the fake sun is going to be. This is P.O.C. Amplified audible activity. How do I already know to come outside? Because of the pattern of conduct, the formula, and they're flying in perfect alignment with me. I want to be clear that the airport is way down off of HOLT, and they're supposedly taking off flying in the direction west. They were just flying in alignment to G Street, which is flying east over G Street, and then you watch them right now do a U-turn to get in alignment with me. But this is, again, the unintelligent conduct of stalking by a government that's using commercial planes, which is informing the rest of the public, the country, about stalking in these manners where they're conspiring murder. And this is demonic. That extreme method, that expensive method, that method that is necessarily including a government, that's what stalking in commercial planes, and it's demonic. Okay, it's entirely demonic. It's currently 8:38 p.m., not even 5 minutes in my room. P.O.C.
License 8ZQE718, 9PXK833, 6YYE371, or 6YYF371. Actually, I'm going to say it is 6YYF371. Yeah. It's a white Nissan. License 05798Y2. (616NNP). That's an Oregon plate. Again, that's license 616 Nancy Paul. That's an Oregon plate. 8VIH055. 9GMT805. 7SXS743. And that's 7 Xavier Samuel 743. License 7VCB547. 9FIN066. 01FBIRD. 9AMV173. 6SIT285. 1 NOTGY. 9JZN008. 14582F2. 8UKB792. 9TID506. 5R67377. 8BQW 802. 8PID 176. 8FXB 460. KING 23B. 8ZHT 087. 7WHK 892. 30654N2. 5FRN 616. Excuse me, correction. 5 Frank Roger Mary 616. DRKTESY. 9UFP 746. 9FWX 643. 8PTF 929. 6TKU 339. 8WLG 552. 8NRJ 382. These are all California plates unless I state otherwise, by the way. 9MGP 630. 8LKA 753. 9JOM 933. 5885 5A4. That's 58855 Apple 4. 7XIY 347. 9GQS 370. EF75L86. That's a paper plate. 7WKX 782.